Wholeness. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is Silvertree here. This is the 11th episode of the Red Serpent Season 2. And I welcome you. May this message find you well and whole today. The title is called Wonderland to Wanderlust. Wonderland to Wanderlust. And we're making our way slowly, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, to the end of the year 2021 and into the year 2022. 2 weeks ago, I did a very in-depth reading. It was about an hour long, called The Journey of the White Rabbit. It is a pure potential outcome reading for the year 2022. And I found it incredibly powerful. And I find that the white rabbit the medicine of the white rabbit has showed up again. It's showed up in my dreams recently, where I was a caretaker of this little white rabbit family. And I was nurturing this white rabbit back to health, and I put it in its cage, walked it out to a much larger complex where I was taking care of all these innocent animals, like the little mole rats, little baby chickens, squirrels, and just the animals that are usually prey. I was taking care of them. And I saw a predator in there that was also very ill, and I was nursing it back to health. So it was very, very interesting. And so lo and behold, several days later, I, picked my runes, and the energy of the rabbit showed up yet again. So this reading is kind of tied to the Journey of the White Rabbit reading. So let's get started into the energy vortex. For the energy vortex of the mind for the human collective, I pulled the square. It's a 4 square, 4 sides. That 4 energy, it's very stable. It's the foundation, it's the roof, it's the walls, it's that support system. Also, since it's under the mind is thought, right? And with our thoughts, we can create narratives. We can create our own stories. However, we tend to live by the stories that are created by others, okay, that are not necessarily organic or in alignment of our life purpose. And we live out these stories and these narratives until the day we die, and we take our last breath, and we realize all along that we should have partaken the role of co-creator in our life, rather than living out someone else's dream, someone else's vision, or someone else's nightmare. And what I'm seeing here and feeling is this sort of trap, like you're kind of trapped in this story, okay, of the mind. And it can also be very ego-based, like this is how I've been, this is how I am, and this is how I'll always be. But that's so dangerous, because that story that you're selling yourself and you sell to other people may literally come from something that's not of you, that's not of your cosmic truth. And getting the mind trapped, once the mind attaches itself to a narrative, that's a wrap, because the mind is that powerful. And I say that because it's like, if you can ask yourself, like, what does my brain look like? We're told, we are given and sold a narrative, okay, through science classes, right? And we're told and shown that this is what the mind looks like. This is what the brain looks like. But no one can tell us what the mind looks like, right? We really equate the mind to brain. But the brain is just the the physical manifestation of the brain, right? It's brain tissue. It has brain. We have brain cells, and we have neurons and protein and all of that makes up this beautiful organ called the brain. But what does the mind look like? What does it feel like? Okay. It's almost like, what does consciousness look like? Is it nothing or is it everything? So again, I got this feeling of entrapment, like a trap. Okay. When I pulled this rune for the energy vortex of the mind for the human collective. Let's move right along to the emotional, or the heart of, or the energy vortex of the heart, okay, for the human collective. For the energy vortex, I pulled the rabbit. I pulled the rabbit, and the rune came out just as you see it here. Now, normally this is my rune for the wild boar. The wild boar is my medicine. Okay, it is one of my spirit guides, and but it flipped over where you can clearly see the rabbit. When the rune is upside down, you see the predator, but you see the rabbit, you see the antennas, you see sensitivity. And with the rabbit is very symbolic of speed, of quickness, of fear, anxiety, of very fast-paced energy. And emotionally, you get that when you feel trapped, when it's anxiety. When you are enclosed in a small space for a long period of time, okay, the mind begins to race, your heart rate begins to race. You see the heart rate, right, of the rabbit. It's fast. It feels pressure, and that's what I'm getting here is a lot of emotional pressure at this time, and it's when there's so much emotional pressure. That can, and you feel enclosed, you feel trapped. It causes very sporadic decision making, like you're lacking clarity. Okay. Also, though, on the flip side is intuition. You see these two ears. Okay. Usually the rabbit, eyes in front hunt, eyes on the side hide. Okay, so they hide, they know when to hide. They're in tune with their surroundings. Predators are very focused. They lock in on a weakness, okay? They lock in on an opening or an opportunity. With the prey, they have the ability to disguise themselves because they tune into their surroundings, into the land. Okay, into the landscape. They are one with it because that is their survival. Without that connection to the land, they are prey and they will end up food for the predator. When you are connected to that earth energy, you're grounded with the soul, with the spirit of the land. You have a one-up on your adversary, okay? Or your enemy, quote unquote, or whoever's trying to come at you. But you must be in tune. You must be connected to the land on a very deep intuitive level so the land can open up to you and show you and reveal the secrets that can keep you alive. And I'm speaking in terms of emotional survival, the survival of the heart. What are people capable of doing to keep themselves alive emotionally? Some people will sacrifice their emotional well-being for the good of others, for their children, for their marriage, for status, okay? Some people will sacrifice the hearts of others, meaning they'll cause emotional pain no matter no matter how deep it is, whoever, they'll victimize whoever so that they can have the one up. Some people completely cut themselves off from their own heart, from their own intuition, and that causes this wound, okay? So that's what I'm getting here emotionally from this is the medicine of the rabbit is strong, and it has its uses. You don't want to misuse the energy of the rabbit, the medicine of the rabbit, because sometimes you follow the white rabbit down the hole and it can lead you astray if you're following in fear. There's this thing where, like, if you're curious, of a natural curious mind, and you want to evolve outside of the story that you've been sold all your life, curiosity can lead you to an awakening. However, if you're just following the white rabbit out of fear, that fear, because nothing is outside of you, the rabbit is a reflection of you, okay? That fear leads you down a much darker, or I shouldn't say darker, but a deeper space of confusion and unclarity. So please be aware of that, okay? And one more thing. So when you're dealing with the white rabbit medicine, know that because it's its white coat, okay, it can be a guiding light. It can guide you deeper into the depths of your own consciousness that you need to explore, and that's very intuitive. Okay, so again, with what I'm getting is use the intuition of the white rabbit, which is you. Use the intuition of the white rabbit to help you make clear decisions based off of curiosity, based off of openness. However, whatever you do, avoid following the white rabbit if you are in the space of anxiety and fear and doubt, because that's incredibly dangerous to do that, okay? Moving right along to the third and last rune of the energy vortex for the human collective. For the body, for our material, physical reality, I have the full moon rune. Whenever I see the full moon in the space of the body for the human collective, that means something has completed a cycle. Something has been revealed. It's showmanship. It's finally manifested itself into the physical reality. Also, when the word that came out of this is also expansion. When I see like you're in an open field, but you don't really know which direction to go. I'm seeing this openness, this vast openness, like you're in a meadow, in the plains, in the plains of America. If you've ever traveled across the U.S. or gone cross country, there's portions of the U.S. where you just look in one direction and it seems like it has no end. No mountains, no clouds, no trees, nothing but just grass. You look in the other direction, you look behind you, and it's all the same. And it can be very disorienting if you don't know the placement of the sun, if you're horrible at, with directions, north, south, east, west, right? And then just tying this in with that rabbit, it's kind of like a rabbit will zigzag, not knowing where to go. So when it's based in that emotional fear, okay? So with the body, it's like you've manifested this dimension of open space. And now you have to just tune into that space. Don't try to tune outside of it, because you won't know where to go. Like there are no roads I'm seeing here. I'm just seeing a vision of like this short wheat grass everywhere that's going in every direction. So if you don't know where to go, then what do you do? Let's see what the sigil has to say about all of this. So altogether, I see the rabbit is in the center. The rabbit is trapped. It's in some kind of man-made trap of the mind, okay? It's trapped in a narrative, all right? Trapped in a story. And the circle, okay, is surrounding this narrative, this story. The circle, this ability to expand your consciousness, as I always say, is to expand beyond the borders of the mind. Use your intuition. Yes, you're the scared little rabbit, okay? and you're trying to avoid the hawks in the sky and the predators on foot on the ground, and you don't know where to go, use your intuition and go beyond the borders of your own mind. How do you do that? You can try there's all kinds of exercises, meditation, the stillness of the mind. Okay, that takes quite some time to do that. It's real vigorous because the mind is so active. Okay, but to pierce through the veil that I'm seeing, this square, the veil of the mind, you have to go within. You have to stand still, and that's hard for a rabbit to do. They move quickly, they make love and make babies quickly. Everything is about speed with them. Even when they're resting, have you ever watched a bunny, a rabbit, and they're not moving and they're just standing, they're sitting, but if you look very closely, it's almost like they're panting. Their heart rate is just, oh my gosh, you can literally see through their fur, like just their blood pressure, or not the blood pressure, but just their pulse is just and they're like just looking around. That's what I'm seeing here. But even when you're in that space, my dear human collective, use your ears, your bunny ears, your long bunny ears, your long antennas. Okay? Put a signal out. All right? And that you can use the power of your mind. Okay, thought forms are powerful things. They are things that we cannot see, but we hear them within ourselves and we exchange them all the time. We're like walking, talking antennas. We're just literally grabbing up every radio frequency, vibration that's possible for us. It gets so, and here's another thing that's coming through is stimulation. I'm getting like you're overstimulated, you're trapped in this story and you're trying to get out. How do you calm the mind? How do you calm an overstimulated situation, or your body, your nervous system? Okay. For me, I know that, I get overwhelmed. I have a threshold, okay? And I'm used to working with the public. I work with children. I work with people in hospital. And I have a threshold where after so many hours or so many days, my fuse, it burns out and I have nothing left. And I become very afraid, very frazzled, very confused, irritated, irritable, like just I feel like the rabbit, just trapped. And then I have to go home, be in solitude for a while, and to calm down. And this is what I'm also seeing. I'm seeing these four walls actually as a way to neutralize an overworked nervous system, where you just unplug. You unplug your Wi-Fi, unplug your radioactive devices that are giving off radiation continuously, even when you think it's not working, you shut it off. No, it's not off. It's still giving off that energy. And you close your laptop. You close shut it down, okay? Shut it down. You go within the mind, you venture into the cabin in the woods within your consciousness. And you hit that reset button, okay? You need to calm down your nervous system if you're frazzled. And those of you who specifically deal with a lot of social anxiety, and I really feel for those, because it's to me, social anxiety is very much an energy thing. It's like you kind of, your boundaries are frayed. You don't have strong boundaries. Your walls, your foundation is weak. You're not solid or centered within yourself, and so that manifests itself into a disorder. Okay, where you walk into a room, a crowded place, a grocery store, a movie theater, anywhere where there's a lot of people, you just shut down and you don't know what to do. Okay, and I really feel for those individuals. But this message is for you as well. And you go inside and with solitude, and you tune in through silence. Silence is a powerful medicine, specifically for those who like to talk a lot, those who have a lot of stories to share. silence is by far incredibly useful. I'm also seeing with current events, the stories that we've been sold over and over and over and over and over and over again are falling apart. Okay? They're unraveling as I see this now. They're unraveling, and I see desperation from, the elite. I see desperation. I see the scared rabbits, who've followed the storyline for so long with such deep faith, generation after generation, and now it's kaput. And now we have this circle of opportunity, this opening, okay? You see the letter O, this opening of branching out beyond the boundaries that were set in place for us, okay? And it takes courage. When I see the white rabbit, I see courage. I don't just see fear and anxiety. I see courage and confidence in following the antennas of your truth, okay? I see this very strongly. So the title, Wonderland to Wanderlust. The story that's been sold to us is Alice in Wonderland, okay? The Wonderland, the land of wonder. Okay, stories are when I think of Alice in Wonderland, it's a story of wonder, the story of the upside down world where everything isn't what it seems. And we can get really trapped into that narrative as well. And I'm specifically speaking to conspiracy theorists or people who question the status quo. We go down that rabbit hole of all that narrative of information and storylines and what's really happening behind the scenes. And you can get lost in that wonderland of information. And I feel that within this title and how it ties into this sigil, Wanderlust, you have an opportunity to venture out beyond the land, the wonderland, into wanderlust. Wanderlust means this deep desire of adventure, okay? It's like you're relentlessly craving wanderlust and what's out there, what's beyond the beyond, okay? There's a song by Bjork called Wanderlust. Wanderlust, relentlessly craving wanderlust. And it's very beautiful. And she sings it, shouts it with her, beautiful voice and her lungs with all the power she can muster. She screams that word out to the top of her lungs. Like it's like this deep craving for truth. And we have to know the difference between, wanderlust and wonderland. Getting lost in the land, getting lost in the storyboard. Okay. Sometimes we get a little lost in truth. Like we become obsessed with it. It becomes a lust. Like I need to know the truth. I need to know the truth. I need to know the truth. All the while, like you are the truth. But what does it mean? We become obsessed with having meaning with everything. There has to be purpose behind everything. Otherwise, without purpose, there's no reason to do anything, to live, to build, to create, to love, to cherish. And so we become very obsessed with this. Some of us get caught in the Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland storyline. Others of us get caught in this wanderlust, needing to know the truth of the beyond, from the beyond of the beyond. Like it gets a bit too much, and it has to be balanced. You must be centered within yourself. You see the square energy, and then you also must be able to take what's needed from the beyond and bring it back into this realm and center yourself. You have to be centered. I see centered, and I'm seeing openness. I'm seeing being grounded, because the rabbit isn't very grounded. It's not a very grounding energy at all. Like, it's all over the place. And I feel like this sigil is asking the collective to just, like, you need to chill. You need to relax, because your anxiety is perpetuating the Alice in Wonderland storyline of everything's falling apart, the end of the world is near, the elites are controlling everything, all is lost, or everything is falling apart, the truth will be revealed. Like, we can get lost in that, and it's just the most important thing I'm getting between these two worlds, Wonderland and Wanderlust. Or Wonderland is a place, Wanderlust is a space, okay? And we need to be able to balance between the two, because Wonderland is that square energy. It's like, it's familiar to you, but it's wild, it's crazy, and it's woof. You have a land, you have a space, or a place. But then we're being asked to go beyond and enter into the space of curiosity. All right. It's a really weird dance between the two, but for some of you guys need to go beyond and enter into the space of Wanderlust and be curious about the truth. And others of you need to get back to Wonderland. Okay. Get back into that place. Be centered. Get grounded. Because I'm seeing people getting lost in the truth. I'm seeing people avoiding the truth and just sticking to a storyline, sticking to a narrative. And it's just like, you got to be able to be that sovereign being. You can't be a victim of circumstance. And that's what I'm seeing with the bunny, with the rabbit. She's a victim of circumstance, trapped in a story. She don't know what to do. And it's like, but you do know what to do. You can be confident, you can be courageous, and break through the boundaries of your mind, break through the boundaries that have been set for you to keep your mind on lock, to keep your mind jailed. What color is the mind? What color is consciousness? So, that is all with this sigil, with this reading. Again, may this message find you well and whole. Please check out my complimentary YouTube channel, Seeds of Silvertree, where I share art conversations with you on consciousness, and also do-it-yourself projects regarding sewing and woodworking, all the while just talking about, conscious stuff and awareness. Also, please check out my music channel, SLVRTR, where I compose and create music and all the like. So thank you. May this find you well. Remember to embrace supreme loving guidance, expand your consciousness, and evolve your human being. Until next time.